I'm sure, Katleho, you can see right behind me. We are now talking about 50 plus stations that have already that have now been closed. I think they have removed that figure because the board keeps changing, but keep monitoring that, and I will speak to that in a short while. But perhaps for now, let me introduce my guest, Sello Machate, who is from the National Press Club. A long night ahead for all of us, and of course tomorrow being perhaps the most important day, because that's when results will start streaming in, and of course the faces we're seeing on either side of this floor will also start changing once the reality starts setting in among politicians when they see the score behind us. There's Katleho, that number, 55.99% of voting stations have now been closed, and it's of course there's still a lot more that have been opened, and I grabbed one of the senior officials of the IEC as he was passing by before this particular crossing, and he was telling me that there's still lots and lots of people queuing outside polling stations who are waiting to cast their votes. We've also seen some videos of political party leaders who are urging their supporters and voters generally to hang in there, continue to stand in those queues and not leave them because some politicians feel that's where they could lose this election. Sello, you are going to burn the midnight oil, just like me and lots of other colleagues here. Just your thoughts, one, having listened to what the IEC had to say earlier, but also, watching and listening to some of the videos that political party leaders have been circulating. Your thoughts at this particular point?
Indeed, Vuyo, it is going to be a very long way and a very long night, and I guess we are still going to be here for the next few days. So I think, having listened to what was said and what was shared from the National Press Club, I think we should then say it shows the democracy at play. It shows the efforts of our members who are journalists, because I think you want to believe, we believe, we know that our duty as journalists is to report on events that are taking place, and for us to all be here and know what is happening across the country in this election. I think that is the work of our journalists, and that then says, as the National Press Club, the mandate that we have, which is to promote and to protect the freedom of the media, it's at play. So having listened to what was said, I think it actually plays out what we, as the journalists on the ground, are doing, and I think we are very appreciative of that.
And of course, as viewers who have seen, and the South African public at large, from the questions we've had to pose, we have actually been perhaps more so than doing our own work, been the conduit, so to speak. We are the ones who have been asking the questions on their behalf. We were the ones who have been relaying their frustrations, but also their hopes.
I think that is true. That is one thing that we have done. So I think one thing that is very important is what journalists out there have. I think one thing that we need to mention, I think journalists have also been allowed space to operate. And I'm saying that because we have not yet received any reports of media abuse on the ground from either the IEC, the political parties, or the members of the public. So I think that also gives some hope. But I think we need to upload something like that.
Of course, many of our colleagues are out there in the streets at this time of the night. We know the country we live in. There may well be opportunists out there who may want to take advantage of them, but they have to hang in there because they have to bring South Africa the story of this election.
I think that is one thing that we need to condemn at all times. I think media workers, they need to be safe. Media workers need to operate freely as it is enshrined in the Chapter 2 of our Constitution, where we have free media. in the democratic state. So I just want to also caution those that are still on the street to continue being cautious. Make sure at least they are not just alone, but there's some sort of security wherever they operate. Because yes, when it's late or it's dark, then opportunists or criminals want to use that opportunity to actually rob them. So I think that is one thing that we also need to emphasize.
Of course, it is unlikely that we're going to get any main or significant or important results tonight still. But as someone who has been doing this for so long, whether it's Robben Island with its few people, that result come out, it changes the game, completely, because it builds up, to the real. That's the start. That's when the results start coming through. And the importance of relaying those results, but also the confidence that they give to the South African public that indeed progress is being made cannot be underestimated.
I think that is true. I think once the results start coming in, we'll start seeing the political party leaders sitting on the corners of their chairs, and I hope no one falls from that, because that is the only time where we're going to start seeing how the polls are going. And I think journalists continue to give that to the public out there, and we must applaud them. But I think one other thing that it's very important to highlight is the manner in which journalists have also handled their work, their reportage. I think one thing that we have also noticed is there were very less fake news that has been reported, and I think journalists have also tried to then pull up their socks, and I want to believe that they'll continue doing that throughout the result operations.
Leave it there, Sello from the National Press Club. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your time. Well, Katlego, as you can see behind me, there's a group of observers who have arrived, and we will be speaking to some of them a little later. The gentleman to my left, South Africans will know, that's one of the Deputy Chief Electoral Officers. He's also working the floor, trying to make sure that we are all happy, we get whatever information we may want to get if we have queries. He's the one I engaged with a little earlier on, trying to get a sense of one thing or the other. His other colleague is there, the other Deputy Chief Electoral Officer, Mr. Shiburi. They are here with us on this floor.